Greetings and salutations, internetizens. It is I, Wolfphototech, and here we go with another starter set or beginner box review. This time it's for Pathfinder 2nd Edition by Paizo Publishing. And this is a chonky box. I got it on top of my really sturdy Traveler 5 slipcase because it needs the support. And you get to listen to me rant again and about the quality difference between other tabletop gaming starter sets or beginner boxes versus Dungeons & Dragons. Again, a little bit. This time, we're going to note that the back is upside down because I put the lid on and upside down from the front. So, there. You got some nice artwork on the edge of the box, which is something different compared to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. The cardboard is treated, so it's actually going to last a lot longer than the plain cardboard in the top of the D&D 5th Edition box. In this set, you got the bare minimum number of dice that is usually going to be counted as a negative against Pathfinder 2nd Edition here. They only gave you 6 dice when you really should have a set of 11. This is the bare minimum. This is like you're going to have to roll a bunch of these dice more than once. 11 is the magical number for a D&D/Pathfinder-esque system. Okay? So, the ideal is 11. Any more is bonus. Less than that, add down to 6. It gets a negative. 6 is like the absolute bare minimum. If you have any less than 6 dice is in a D&D/Pathfinder type system, they really screwed you. Since this is a beginner box, it comes with nice cards that you can use to help guide you through how to play the game. With explanations on conditions on the backside. It's all somewhat fairly small, but it's actually rather comprehensive. And the description on the front, as I showed you already, of the 3-action system. And little markers up on top here for all your actions in a round. And description of how many actions and what actions you can do with 1 action each in a round, or generally. This is not an exhaustive amount of actions you can use, 1, 2, or 3. It's all 1 variations. However, there's a lot of variations on that, and that's just the core ones that you're going to use a lot from character to character, and they give you multiple of them. They give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They give you 6. Count them, 6 of them. So you got 6 of these cards to hand out to up to 6 players, or 5 players if you want to keep one for yourself as the game master. On the box, as you can notice, unlike Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, there's actually some text around the outside of the box, as well as artwork. More information on the Open Game License 1.0a. As Pathfinder is tied under the Open Game License from 3.5 and 4th Edition. In the case of this, that means you can go online and you can literally find perfectly legal archives of all the core rules and many of the secondary and tertiary rules and mechanics free on websites. I can literally do an entire video going over every single mechanic exactly, and I have no problems legally doing it. However, in the case of Wizards of the Coast, if you replicate the rules exactly online as an easy reference on any device or app, or create a handy-dandy say playlist that goes over all the rules that are essential to your game system, guess what? You're getting sued. In the case of Paizo, they literally don't care. You can literally just tell everyone how to play the game. I could literally go and like these cards, I can like redo all these cards, make new copies of these cards, put them online, and Paizo's like, okay, I could have an app that has all the rules in it. Paizo's, okay, all right. So here's the pawn bases. You get a blue one, you get a large one, you get a bunch of small ones. You're wondering about, like, if you're playing like 5th edition, pawn bases? This is a beginner box. Well, yeah, this is not a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition WotC beginner box or starter set. This is a different company's starter set box. You get pawn bases with your stuff. Wizards of the Coast is usually the bottom of all things. You get a handy dandy sheet that shows all the cool stuff. If you pay attention, there's a lot of stuff on that sheet. Okay, you have another sheet on the back section on the backside that actually gives you more information and gives you little tips on going and growing with your Pathfinder experience. Then you have, I got to get my Traveler 5 box up. Then we're on to, ooh boy. We have the beginner box, Hero's Handbook, which has information on the backside as well. It is 74 pages. It's actually 74. It's numbered up to 72, but then you have the back page and the back cover, which also contains information. So this has more pages than each book for Spelljammer 5th edition in it. This is more than Spelljammer 5th edition. Okay? This book covers, in a very concise and clean manner, how to play Pathfinder 2nd edition. Always look for that handy dandy little box up top or a bar that says Path 2nd edition. On the front page, this is beautiful actually. Paizo, this box lowers the score on all the 5th edition D&D 5th edition boxes by 2 or 3. Okay? The best box is 5th edition is trash compared to Paizo's effort. You got this beautiful inner cover where you got the player sheet up here, front and back, and you have a series of steps that walk you through building your character. And then you have a table of contents section in this book that describes all the essential stuff that establishes it. You have a setting set up for your character, so you can literally hand this book to your player and they could read through it, and this sets them up for the adventure that's in this box. So they get an idea of what the adventure is going to be like. And then it goes into describing how the game mechanics operate, how actions work and stuff like that. It's all numbered out, so you can checklist this whole thing. You can checklist it. Everything is cleanly denoted. You literally have entry number 14, entry 10, so it's always referencing to the numbers. So when you see that entry 14, there's entry 14. Right below that is entry 10. It references entry 10, which is right here. So it's cross-referencing multiple points in the book as you go through it. It gives you an example of play, how the game is played, even a little fun story of raising doing various actions and your characters interacting. Then it gets into actually, after describing the basic setting, how the game is roughly played out, it goes into actual character creation. It tells you what's a role-playing game, dice, basic rules of rolling checks, the different types of dice. It's all color-coded, for Pete's sake. So the dice match. Paizo has taken a great deal of effort in trying to make this system as clear and fluid as possible, short of giving you a DVD that tells you, oh, that's one thing you could improve with this, Paizo. You could include a DVD that is full of just simply someone explaining in a very calm and friendly manner how to build a character in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and another DVD that basically tells them the basic theory, game design theory of Pathfinder 2nd Edition and so forth, to really dig in the quality of this system. You have, after basic descriptions of proficiency, bonuses, penalties, conditions, feats, hit points, and such, all the basic components that you see on your character sheet. By the way, all this stuff is marked here, and there's a reference to your character sheet. Reading the rules, let's note, it jumps you over to creating your hero. It has a nice little sketch work, and then basic color, and then fine work done on top of that. It describes all the essential steps of picking out all your important stuff. It then tells you ability scores and ability modifiers. Yet again, another photo of the character sheet, the simplified one. You'll be seeing that soon. It goes into your ancestries, which I love the fact that Paizo switched from races to ancestries. Great move. I actually have a system that I'm actually currently developing that has a similar shift in design, in fundamentally from using the word race is to something more fundamentally true to the world setting and real world in relationship to all creatures and beings. It goes through all your basic stuff. It tells you, goes into dwarves, your ability boost, hit point, speed, and all your stuff. It's lettered, so you know where it all ties into on your character sheet and in the steps of construction of your character. If, say, like, here's a pencil mark. If you pick the dwarf ancestry, write dwarf in the ancestry section on your character sheet A, you get the following abilities. And it goes through ability boost D, hit points E, speed F. That is referencing the different spots on the sheet, which are right here. You'll notice that there's little circles. I actually pull those out, so it's actually easier. You actually see on the character sheet different circles by each section, right by the titles of that section. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's tied to all into your character creation. So, boom. You have a beautiful system that specifically references and cross-references itself with simple numbers and letters, tying all the components together, reminding you, oh yeah, there's your hit point box is marked as E. When you get to hit points, dwarves are hardy and can take a lot of punishment. Write 10 in the maximum box in the hit points area E, although you will add more to this amount later as you level up. It should actually add in as you level up, or add feats, you know. And then it goes, as I said, it goes through hit point, speed, dark vision, pick your dwarf heritage, death warden dwarf, forge dwarf. That's it. So it's all contained on one sheet, and it goes on to the other. Oh yeah, rock dwarf. So you got death warden dwarf, forge dwarf, and rock dwarf. So all the ancestries are on one sheet. That way you can just set it down, put your character sheet down next to it, and go through it as you may. You got dwarves, elves, human, and that's it, because this is the beginner box, and you keep going in Paizo, and you get really deep. Then you have backgrounds. The background sections, just like before, it's all lettered. Like you got B, D, B, G, D, G. Every time it references back to the character sheet, it has a letter tied in here that tells you, hey, this is part D. Look at D. Boom. You got acolyte, criminal, deckhand, farmhand, gambler, scholar, warrior. By the way, this is not even the complete list, but that's just a simplified list as for the beginner box. The core rulebook has way more options. What's really cool about this is in the build background section, you also gain ability boosts, which are ability points into your main stats, and an extra feat or a proficiency in something from your background. Say like you're a farmhand, you're trained in athletics or survival if you become a fighter or rogue. The farm lore skill, writing farming under lore and skills, letter G, that's actually one of those weird moments where instead of using the actual like yellow circle dot letter, they actually just put G in brackets. That's kind of weird. But anyways, and check the T box for your proficiency in each of those skills. G. And it just continues on. In the background area, B, write assurance athletics checks. You can use the result of 10 plus your proficiency bonus in athletics instead of rolling. So once you have assurance and whatever skill that's tied into it, you basically gain I literally just forgot the term for that. Take 10. You basically gain take 10 for your ability, for that ability. That way you basically you never go below 10 on that. You use 10 plus your proficiency bonus, which is, if it's trained, it's +2 plus your level. So if you are level 2, that would actually be, your proficiency would be 2, your level 2, that would be 4. Because Pathfinder's proficiency bonus is once you gain proficiency in something, it's your level plus proficiency bonus on that skill. And that way it makes sure that you, as a character who has the farm lore skill, is always the expert in farm lore. So some random scholar who just happens to have high intelligence is probably not, who does not have proficiency in farm lore, who tries to roll farm lore, is not going to do nearly as well as you. All right? Mm-hmm. After going through backgrounds, you get character classes. You got cleric, and it nicely, yet again, walks you through first level cleric features. It walks you through the whole process. It references the spot on the character sheet. It gives you a nice little section, play a cleric if you want to, and then there's also a section during combat encounters while exploring. So like, play a cleric if you want to, support and heal your allies with divine spells, fight with the favored weapon of your deity, know about religious writing and images, oppose and destroy evil undead creatures. And then the during combat encounters, you balance between casting spells and attacking with weapons, typically the favored weapon of your deity. Most of your spells can boost, protect, or heal your allies. While exploring, You detect nearby magic and interpret any religious writing or icons you come across. You might also concentrate on a protective spell for your allies in the case of attack. After a battle or hazard, you might heal your ally. Heal anyone who was hurt. I almost like edited that to be heal your allies. Basic general rule when writing any books or modules is to reduce the number of words to as small a number as possible, which is something I truly wish Wizards of the Coast would work on. But anyways. But of course I naturally just go against that and put as many words into things as possible. It describes the spellcasting mechanic for the cleric, the divine font, one of those subclasses, war priest, the shield block reaction, your deity, Dinesa, your deities, Dinesa, Sirene, and Torag. You got a quick list of your cantrips that you have access to, your first level spells. So in each section, it immediately throws right after it your second level spells, second level class features. So on the first section is your spells. Boop, boop. Even denotes how many actions it takes for the spells on your first level and your cleric spells. And you also have second level cleric features, third level cleric features, second level character spells, and then you go into fighter. Use the biggest weapon or two at once. Fight on the front lines. React quickly to enemy actions. Wear the best armor and carry a shield. Fighting or bully your foes. During combat encounters, you strike with unmatched accuracy and use specialized combat techniques. You stand between allies and enemies, attacking foes who try to get past. While exploring, you keep up your defenses in preparation for combat and stay vigilant for hidden threats. You also overcome physical challenges in your way, breaking down doors, lifting obstacles, climbing adeptly, and leaping across pits. Goes into your fighter, your actions and reactions, and so forth. And it duplicates out the same way between all the other classes. You get your core character features by level. It gets divided out. You got your first level stuff, your second level stuff, your third level stuff. When you get your everything, you get wizard. Same basic pattern. You got your core stuff, your 0/first level stuff. And then it moves on into your second level stuff, your third level stuff. Interestingly, I always find it odd that this is one of those weird moments where they have your second level stuff. It's one of those weird things, actually. You got second level stuff, and then you got third level stuff, and then you got second level wizard spells there, which actually, I'm like having a brain fart. Yeah, your second level wizard spells kick in at level 3. I'm rewriting that in my own system, so it doesn't make it as weird when reading through it. It's one of those things you have to stop and remind yourself every so often. And, oh yeah, it's the spell slot system. It's weird how they do that. You get a quick overview again of your 4 major classes. You get a section on your armors and your shields, your different types of melee weapons and ranged weapons, your other adventuring gear and items, and then it goes into finishing your hero, and it goes over explaining you need to double check your stuff, name and pronouns, so forth, your skill checks, reminding you how the mechanic works, armor and skills, there's skills and skill actions. It denotes what skill the ability check that's tied to, whether you can be trained, what you can do untrained in that skill, in this column, and then there's the trained only actions, stuff that you specifically have to be trained or better to do in that class. And it continues on to describing all those different skills through the various pages, and I had to actually speed up because this is a chunky section on playing the game. At some point, I'm actually going to go in a deep dive through the entire Pathfinder 2nd Edition system across multiple videos. How the area of effects for spells, bursts, radiating, cones, lines, emanations, you know, all the fun gists. Unconscious conditions. Leveling up, what you do when you level up. Getting knocked out, what happens, you know. You get knocked out, you go to many dyings, you finally die, wounded status, notable traits, unconscious condition, waking up. Then on the back side, there's a nice little quick reference section of common rolls. What you do, you know, strike attack roll, strike damage roll, spell attack, saving throw against spell, perception check, stealth check, so forth. And there's that, because I'm going to run out of time very quickly. Because this, unlike D&D 5th edition, where I can easily do, if I just like focused on it and tried to speed gun it, I could probably do all my review stuff for each book, for each of those boxes for like in less than 20. Pathfinder 2nd edition and other game systems, like I'm struggling to just power through showing off everything before my camera runs out of record time and it kicks over. By the way, Paizo makes the best damn flip mats. Yes, you can write on them, you can do all kinds of stuff. You wash them off and they be good again. Just make sure to wash them off periodically. You got the character sheets. And you got character information folios. So you got the character sheets, which I showed you before, which contains all your core information on the top. As you can see, a little key that shows you all the dice by color code. Your actions are duplicated here, and then it also tells you the basic proficiency rating system. Just the first three, you know, trained, untrained, trained, and expert. It doesn't give you master or legendary on there. You have your character stats section, your health and your basic defenses, your weapon abilities, weapon attacks, or your attack options. Then you have your skill section. I'm hard pressed to just power through. Then you have these fun little character folio booklets that actually show you. These are actually pre-made characters sheets. So you could actually use this as your base template for copying onto those sheets all this information. And it describes all the character for that class's mechanics on this second sheet right here. All the basic stuff. You got the Valorous the Fighter, Mauricio the Rogue, Kira the Cleric, and Ezrin and the Wizard. So you just don't have the starter rule book that systematically goes through everything and very clearly written out and designed character sheets that easily show you how every... Oh yeah, that's the back side of them too, where you put your character class... your little biography, your feat list, and other stuff on there in your spells. For first and second level spells. And then you have the character adventure book. I have not used the pawns in this set yet. This book is also very well worked out. You have a map in the inside cover of an event or a place. Everything is marked out very clearly. It's beautiful artwork. Oh my goodness. Paizo like nukes Wizards of the Coast straight into the ground on the quality of artwork. Everything is clearly denoted. Combat guide each section here. Roll initiative, taking turns, start new round, additional rules, success, failure, multiple attacks, spells, saving throws, dying. So the DM or GM has a reminder in the front. Then there's a step-by-step guide through actually the whole entire adventure of how to run it, describing each section as you go. You got another reminder on the back side. Yet again, I do not want to show you every single thing inside the Game Master's book. You have nice little maps throughout the whole book. You got little character guides. It's telling you about the characters in the book. You got a section on all the monsters in the book. Do love the artwork. Oh my goodness. Got a nice variety, like Paizo trolls. Awesome goblins. Goblins are fun. Do. You got tons and tons of fun in this book. You got a really nice variety of enemies in this book and items. They like pile you with items out of this book. So you could literally just start straight from this book. Okay, onto the pawns. There are little stamp out character pieces that you can punch out and set on those little stands I pulled out earlier. I'm actually starting to dread in my first edition box opening because all the pawns are loose in the sheets. It's because I've used them pulled them out at various points. So you got a bunch of critters. You usually have anywhere from 1 to 4 of each type of creature. You also got tokens you can use for putting on your character sheet, those little cards for your character actions. So when your character is in combat, you can just hand them here. Here's your 3 action counters and your reaction counters. When you use an action, you set it on top of your little card there, and boom, you are good. So the players can easily track. Yet again, white heat treated box, so everything lasts and holds up. You got this really nice advertisement folder in the very back of the book with promoting the Pathfinder Society, as well as the first set of core rule books for Pathfinder 2nd edition. So, like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Now, the only thing I have to denote is I actually don't remember if I do not remember if there's actually a GM screen in here. Yeah, there's no GM screen. So that's literally the only knock against this that keeps it from being a 5. Oh, 2 things. Onto the review section. There's only 2 things that are keeping this from being a 5. They only give you the bare minimum number of dice. And there's no GM screen. There's no basic GM screen in this set. And that's like literally the only negative to this whole set is they don't give you a GM screen. You got a double-sided flip mat in there for your adventure. But no GM screen. This is like a 4.5 on the score meter. Literally because you don't necessarily need a GM screen. You can get a book or something and set it up. But a GM screen would be super awesome to have. and a full set of dice would be awesome to have. And that's like it. This is a chunky box with a lot of stuff in it. That's going to get you really going really far. And it actually has really, really refined rules and guide on how to construct characters and how to play characters to a very good degree in it. So there you go on that one. It's a 4.5 for starter boxes. It is a 5-star for Paizo starter boxes, though, because it's the only starter/beginner box for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. If they literally came out with a new box that actually had a GM screen and the dice were much deeper, but it had the same basic structure, that would affect this grade. As a overall starter box for everything, it's pretty darn high. It's in the high 4s. It's at 4.25, 4.75, probably place it around the 4.5 range. Yet again, no GM screen, slight knock, slightly less than necessary number of dice, a slight knock, but it overloads you with so much quality in every other way that it actually pulls itself up from being just a 4 back up to 4.5. It's a darn good set. And if you are new to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it's a must-buy. So it falls into the must-buy category for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's reasonably cheap, and it's super awesome overall. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And leave a comment below telling me what you think about it. And if you dislike it, leave a dislike and leave a comment below and telling me what you think about it, as well as any suggestions. At some point, I'm going to do a series of videos describing and showing how to do everything in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's going to be a really long series of videos because I basically am not going to make a video that's longer than 45 minutes. Alrighty? Trust me, there's entire YouTube channels that are literally dedicated to going over every single mechanic in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. There's a channel called How It's Played that is a great resource for it. And there's also a channel called NoNat Ones that's also a really good source on Pathfinder 2nd Edition content. There's also Collective Arcana and Gust and a few others that are also quite fun channels to follow as well, that also cover Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So, thank you very much for watching. Have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month. And this video is probably going to be the longest starter/beginner box review video I have on my channel, at least until I cover the other Paizo starter boxes. Okay? See you next time.